Hello everyone and welcome back to a new Vinyl Community Friday video. Today I'm going to be touching on what I have spoken about in the past, which is Japanese CDs or vinyl or just Japanese pressings in general. So as you know, obviously all over the world there's going to be multiple pressings of different albums and stuff, and one of the most desired is Japanese pressings. So I'm going to be talking about my personal kind of experiences with Japanese pressings, why I love them so much, and all of that. Let's get started. My favourite Pink Floyd album of all time, as you guys know, is Animals. So this is the CD from the Discovery box set, so this is just a simple reissue. Sounds great, but I recently got the Japanese version on CD, and as you can tell, the covers look slightly different. This one looks a bit brighter, this one looks a bit more gloomy, which kind of sums up the atmosphere of the album, to be honest. This just sounded about 110 times better. The clarity, the production, and everything just sounded so much better. They did not mess around with this, and something about it that I can't really put my finger on, it just sounds so much better. And I will listen to this happily, and this sounds great, but this is just another level. The attention to detail and everything. I mean, this is basically a replica of the vinyl. So it's literally a replica of the vinyl and all that cool stuff. As you can see in the inner sleeve of this one, or the gatefold, sorry, it's just got two still shots of the pig flying over Battersea Power Station. This one is the exact same as the vinyl. It's got all the different pictures on it on the gatefold, and it's just... it sounds like I'm listening to this on vinyl, but on my CD player, essentially. I do recommend getting yourself a copy of Animals on CD. I think that Animals is an essential, and I could be biased because it is my favourite album of theirs, but I think it's an essential album to have, as much as Dark Side of the Moon or Wish You Were Here in terms of Pink Floyd. I think it's an essential one for any record collector because the sound of it on vinyl is stunning. It's amazing. So definitely grab yourself a copy of this if you can. This just sounds immaculate in comparison to the standard version. And if I'm going to be listening to Animals, I will listen to this one, preferably over this one. As much as I do listen to this one, because I do have this downloaded onto my MP3 player, and this one I don't. So I usually listen to this one when I'm listening to my CD, and then this one when I'm listening to it, like, on the go. As I mentioned before, the clarity and just the way it's been pressed, I guess, because it is to do with the way that it was pressed and everything. It's a sturdy CD, because I'm quite clumsy at times. I've dropped it on several occasions and it's not gotten scratched. It's pretty sturdy as a CD. So the Japanese CDs are very desirable in that way. I have got a few of these Pink Floyd ones, actually. I've got, obviously, Animals, Wish You Were Here, which I'll be talking about in a second, Atom Heart Mother, and Medal. They do all sound really good, and the more I listen to them, the more I desire them, which is kind of bad for my bank account. My next point is the attention to detail. So, as I mentioned, I was going to talk about Wish You Were Here. So here I've got the record version, and I've got the CD version right here. This is the Japanese pressing. I've also got the one from the Discovery box set as well, but I'm not going to be talking about that today. So here's the vinyl. A lot of you may own this already. It's a classic album. And this isn't gatefolded at all. This is just a single LP and non-gatefolded. And as you know, Wish You Were Here, that's what the inner sleeve looks like. It's got the lyrics and the track listing and all the photos on the back. And it also comes with a postcard, as you know. That's the vinyl version. This is a reissue, so it's not the original. And then there's this one. So originally, when I had opened this, it came in the black wrapping, but I kept this one in the black wrapping because I saw no reason to take it out. So I'll take it out for you now. And yeah, this is gonna amaze you guys. Obviously we're greeted with the album itself, the back cover for some reason. They do have the back covers separately for some reason. So you get the little Japanese liner notes and stuff like that in there. But there was this booklet, which is not in the vinyl version. There is just like pictures of like the recording, obviously that big one, which is the postcard as well. Pictures of the group, the lyrics and everything, all in that little book. And then this is still a single LP lookalike, just like the vinyl. It's like I'm holding a little vinyl. And you pull it out, and it comes with the label. So that's what the label looks like, the Pink Floyd label. I'll tell you my favourite bit at the end. It came with, obviously, this which is the same inner sleeve as the vinyl, but a little version. It's so cute, I love it. And a poster. Now, what my dad told me, because obviously my dad was around when Wish You Were Here first came out, that the original did come with a poster. So this version comes with a poster, which is very cool. It's not big enough to put on my wall, but here's my favourite part. Here is my favourite part. It comes with a little postcard. It comes with a tiny postcard. It's so amazing, the attention to detail on this. Me and my dad talk about this a lot because we are really getting into collecting our Japanese pressings and our Japanese CDs and all that stuff. It's amazing how similar to the vinyl and how similar it sounds. Like, the vinyl and these CDs sound so similar. And it's amazing. It's so incredible how the Japanese manufacturers are able to do that. So it's just so perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. The sound, as I mentioned in my first point, and everything else on top, is just stunning. It really is stunning. So that was Wish You Were Here. That is the CD version and obviously the vinyl version here. So, CDs aside, I'm going to talk about just vinyl now, because I was talking about CDs before in my first point. So, I've only found one Japanese pressing LP that I've got, and that is Rush Exit Stage Left. I couldn't seem to find anything else that I've got. But this, as you know, is a live album. I'm not really a live album person. I'll listen to them, but it's very hit or miss. Sometimes they sound great, and for me, great is something like Yes Songs, or Pulse, or Welcome Back My Friends by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Those are in the big leagues of great live albums. And this one I never really considered a great one, because when I listened to it on Spotify, I also have the CD as well. It was alright, but it was a little bit kind of messy sounding, if that makes sense. Obviously because it's a live gig and it's really hard to kind of capture that really well, being able to hear the crowd and the music itself. But then I invested in the vinyl and a Japanese pressing, because I had heard good things about Japanese pressings and all that kind of stuff. And I gave it a little spin when I first got it, and it changed my opinion on the album completely. This just sounded so clear. As I mentioned, clarity is incredible on this, and it was the perfect balance of the high and low frequencies and all of that stuff. Though it wasn't too screechy and it wasn't too bassy. It was just perfect in the middle. And everything about it was amazing. And I think this is quite an early one, because this is very old and it smells like someone's attic. So that's it there. And I'm looking into getting some more Japanese pressing vinyl. I do have one that I don't pull out often, and that is Animals by Pink Floyd. I've got the Japanese pressing of that, but that's like a very, very early one, which I've framed. So I don't want to take it out. It's downstairs in our front room, so I can't really get it out. But this is one that I have to show, and that is that. Another one that I have, and I forgot about this completely, is my Japanese pressing of Yes Songs. Now, I'm actually in the process of getting a Japanese copy of Yes Songs on CD because of how amazing this is. This sounds so perfect, and as I mentioned before with live albums, they're very hit or miss for me, but this is one of my favourite live albums, if not my favourite live album. When I heard Close to the Edge for the first time on this, I think I cried again, and it made me realise how much I love this band and how much I love that song. So this was really able to capture the live essence and all of that, and the way that this was pressed. The vinyl, even though this is also a very kind of old copy, was very heavy. It's not, it feels like 180 gram, but I know it's not, because this is a very early pressing, as I said. Same with the Rush one. But the vinyl is not flimsy at all, like the British pressings, which were very flimsy. This was very sturdy. It didn't really wobble, and it didn't have much static on it or anything like that. It was just amazingly perfect. So this is definitely one to try and find, but I think I found this just by pure luck, that I found a Japanese copy of Yes Songs. I don't know if anyone else has them, I mean, probably. My fourth point is comparing the British pressing I have of Pawn Hearts by Van der Graaf Generator to the Japanese pressing, which I have only on CD. So I listened to these recently because it's one of my favourite albums of all time, this album, and I played the vinyl and I played the CD. Now, this is a very emotional album. It's one that really tugs at the heartstrings. It's got a lot of kind of dark themes in it. It's just a wonderful album. The vinyl version that I've got, as lovely as it is, it's very flimsy, and it's got a lot of surface noise because it's very old and it's probably just been in someone's attic for the past like 45 years. And I will listen to the vinyl version, I will, but when I first played this version, the Japanese version, I realised how much I do love this album and how much it means to me. And I didn't really get that with the vinyl version, as much as, you know, vinyl usually does sound better than the CD. In this case, for me, this sounded a lot better. It really captured the essence of the album. There was no weird surface staticky noises throughout all the kind of emotional bits. It was just very smooth playing, and obviously because two different formats, so maybe I'm being a bit biased here, but this sounded like the ultimate version of this album. And this version does sound good, but this one is just about 100 times better, in my opinion. The way it was produced helped as well with the way that it was pressed and how clean it was, and, you know, it wasn't overly loud. It was just amazing. So that is why my favourite album of Van der Graaf Generator, this will sound better on CD than the vinyl. And I used to think that it was the other way around, that vinyl will always sound better than CD. And I think that in some cases it does. Depends on what kind of pressing you get and what the state of the album is. But I think that the Japanese pressings really champion them all when it comes to the CDs and the vinyl, but mainly talking about the CDs here. It just champions completely. I mean, my copy of Atom Heart Mother in the Discovery box set is like slightly muffled. The production's like a little bit off, but I'll still listen to it. But the Japanese pressing sounds about 100 times better. And because I love that album so much, I want it to sound 100 times better. Okay, onto a slightly more sad note. I'm going to talk about counterfeits now. So I'm sure everyone out there who's been collecting records and CDs for probably longer than I have and longer than I've been alive knows that you've got some very scummy people out there who will try and sell you stuff that isn't actually what it is. So back a while ago, Led Zeppelin released a box set of Japanese pressed CDs, and, you know, I saw that recently and I thought, I'd like that. That looks very good. I love Led Zeppelin. It's got all their albums in it and some of their live albums. I'm going to invest. Here is the box set. You'll probably be familiar with it. Now, you probably see that it just looks very normal. It looks fine. Turn it on the side. You can probably see that it's normal now. But this is actually inverted. And that was the first sign of danger to me, because I was like, these are the wrong way around, so I'm a little bit concerned. So I open it up and I think, well, this is going to be kind of normal, you know, it looks fine, you know. And then I'm flicking through the albums, and I watched a video of someone unboxing this, because I do watch unboxings on YouTube. As you know, Led Zeppelin 3, it has the little wheel that you can spin around and the picture changes. It's not there. There's no wheel. That wasn't the first giveaway. The main one was when I pulled out The Song Remains the Same, one of my all-time favourite live albums. You can't even read the title. You can't even read the title. You can't even read the track listing. Look at it. It's disgraceful. It really is. And we were so angry because we had paid quite a bit of money for this just to get this. I like to see the best in everything. So what I did was, right, I'm judging it now, just on the appearance itself. Let's just listen to the CDs. Let's listen to it, because for all we know, it could sound incredible. And it did. It did. And I thought that it sounded really, really great. I played Led Zeppelin 4, and I thought, well, this sounds very clear. The clarity is great, in the typical Japanese pressing sense. But the covers, and as you know, with physical graffiti, you can actually pull out the top, and it's like the wind, you can pull out the windows. You can't do that here. It's not textured at all. So it was upsetting to us at first when we saw that they were counterfeited and they were clearly fakes. I thought, well, I'm not gonna, you know, get rid of these. You know, they sound fine. They sound great. They sound fine. So I've kept it and I play them every so often now. It's just seeing those covers really made me very angry. It thought, like, you're not gonna get away with this one. You know, the covers are clearly a bit off. And the worst thing is that the guy really tried to sell it as an original, and it really wasn't. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your own opinions on Japanese CDs or vinyl or anything like that. Do you have any? Let me know what you've got, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Saturdays with Dad. Make sure to check out my merch link in the description, and all my social medias, Instagram and Twitter and all that is down there, and also Mubu Records, which is my Discog store, all down in the description. And I will see you guys tomorrow, as I said. Bye.